Hey, a great Wednesday morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas, and right on time. I say right on time because it hit 9 o'clock, and I was a little bit on the. I haven't put up the YouTube thing, and I'm going like, and I was listening to music on YouTube, and that's one of the reasons why I hadn't turned it on.
I'll, I'm gonna be right back because I'm having delay issues. Okay, I'll be right back.
He's delayed, period. But that's a different story. It's the beautiful day in the city of Brownsville. Actually, I was listening to the weather, and not because I actually listened to Frankie's show this morning, which I should have. But I was listening to the weather, and we're supposed to have some amazing weather this weekend, which is kind of cool. We deserve great weather, beach weather, South Padre Island weather. Morning, Roman.
Morning, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just having delay issues for some reason, but now I think it's cleared up.
You got cheap internet.
No, it just happens every once in a while.
Cheap internet.
It's not cheap internet, dude. I pay enough money for it. No.
It's cheap internet because one of the things that I learned a couple weeks ago is that we all have cheap internet here in the city of Brownsville.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause it's not fiber or optic and all that wonderful stuff.
Well, and it's kind of trippy because I'm supposed to be getting the brunt of the information coming in, but the fiber optic that they were planning to place that goes straight through the center line of the city of Brownsville basically was only going to benefit the orange ticket holders.
Oh,
It
well,
wasn't going to
that's probably
benefit
why
the.
the city manager is moving to Colorado. I think they have fiber optics over there.
I think that he's leaving for other reasons, but
What could
yeah.
those reasons be?
I think it was really impressive, like how we got the news late last night. That well, we had already made mention how he had been picked as one of the two finalists for the
Hmm.
job out there, and I think it caught the city commission uh, off base. They just didn't think that he was actually going to leave as the
What
well.
he was gonna be here forever and not never go away.
Well, I think that they had placed all their eggs in that little basket, and what happens is I think that they underestimated the disgust that most people feel here in the city of Brownsville. And by
Mhm.
that, I mean even the individuals that are supposed to be leading the city. And I don't think that Noel Bernal was ever given. And again, I know I didn't care for him. I don't think that he was given the opportunity to lead the city. I think he always had the city commission breathing down his neck
Really?
or up
You
his
think
neck.
so?
Yeah, 100%. I completely think that part of the job, it's like when you go for a job, Roman, and you have a certain job description,
Mhm.
and you're not allowed to do your job, and you're
But I
going
don't.
like,
Okay, I want to make sure I understand. So you're thinking that this whole like total alignment crap that he was kept pushing for years was him not being able to do his work?
I
That's a,
think part of it was him not being to do his work. I think this is again, this is my I don't know for a fact.
mhm,
I think part of the struggle was, he's wanting to do something, and he's always going to have to go check with the mayor or with Commissioner Los Santos or Golansky, and
mhm,
then what you have is you have the 4-3 type of situation that you have in most governmental agencies, where
mm,
ultimately you have to bow down to the four, you know and make sure you're on the right side of the majority of the
mhm.
individuals. But what happens in the city commission, it happens at a school board and any others, is that the fours just ultimately depend on who comes into office. And
See, I don't agree with that. And I mean, I look, we can agree and disagree and have disagreements on stuff, but I think he was running roughshod over the city commission. He was able to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. He hired whoever he wanted to hire. He got to have his city attorney. He got to hire, Helen or anybody else that he wanted to hire. He could hire whoever he wanted to. So I don't understand how anybody could say, well, he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do because the city commission had to worry about
yeah,
the city commission. I don't even give a flame rights. That's what the city commission did. He
well,
wanted to do what he needed to do and make a name for himself. So I
it,
completely disagree with you.
it's until you're in a position like that that you start to see the dynamics. And I tell you, I lived it with on the board of trustees. I lived
Mm,
it on the board of trustees, and it's exactly the same thing that happened with Rene Gutierrez. I
mm,
mean, he was hired on the board of trustees that Sylvia Atkinson had the majority of the vote out there, and and everything was swaying that way. He brought in anyone that he wanted to bring in. You know, I mean, he
mhm,
brought in his two deputies,
mhm.
didn't need them. Brought in esta Rose, whatever on what's her last name?
Longoria?
Longoria. Brought in
Okay.
Rose Longoria as an A, wasn't needed.
Mm,
Brought all these individuals out there because he was on the right side of the four.
mhm,
And basically he did whatever he wanted to do. He brought in Dustin over uh, health employee benefits
mhm.
and brought in everybody else out there. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, he did whatever he wanted. He had free reign whilst he maintained himself in the four. As
Right.
soon as those four shifted, he shifted as well. Because take into consideration, it was Drew Brown, Priscilla
Mhm,
Tipton, Minerva Peña, and Sylvia Atkinson. It was those four. As soon as he lost a couple of those, then uh, all he had because he lost Prissy and he lost Sylvia. And then he switched on to the other side. And now
mhm,
the majority hates Drew Brown and hates Minerva Peña.
mhm,
So he could still do anything that he wants because he went with the four. But for anyone in that type of position, it is collecting a paycheck. You're receiving a mighty hefty paycheck, but it gets tiring.
mm,
Now, the difference between Gutierrez and Noel Bernal, Gutierrez could never find a cushier job than what he has now.
mm.
I mean, he set himself up to have the cushiest job in town. I think the difference between a city manager and a superintendent is, well, the city manager apparently is going to be making a lot more bank up in Denver. We don't have the
Mm.
financials yet, but I'm going to guarantee you that he's probably going to make more bank over there than he was making in the city of Brownsville. And that's despite the fact that he was way overpaid here in the city of Brownsville.
Mm.
Way
I
overpaid.
mean, I'll agree with you on that. I mean, I don't think it was. I think it was paid too much, but I mean, considering the size of the budget that we have at the city compared to BISC, BISC's budget is a $500 million. The city of Brownsville's budget is not that big. I think it's what $125 million. Not even a half of the budget that BISC has.
Not even a third.
Yeah, not even third. Yeah, probably not even a fourth. But hey, my math is not the greatest early. But yeah, and I understand the dynamic of having you have to go with your majority. But even still, where has the majority shifted on the city commission for
What
Noel
happened?
Bernal to say, you know what, I need to leave? I mean, you have Josh at BCIC. There's no real big change at BCIC. He's going over to McAllen. Now you have him leaving. Why are people just leaving? And I made this comment to you on your page when you broke the story that the city manager was leaving. Um, why are they leaving all of a sudden? Why? I thought Brownsville was the happening place. You have Elon, SpaceX. I mean, is this leaving while the iron is hot, or why? Why? And not
Oh,
not
I can
just
tell you exactly why Josh McKee is leaving.
mm,
Josh McKee is, and it's basically because of the same thing. Josh
mm,
McKee is being fired by Trey Mendez, 100%, without a doubt. Trey Mendez found out that part of the leak in regards to the $200,000 shenanigan out there, in part came from what's his name, Josh McKee.
mm,
Trey was pissed and
mm,
Trey had his days numbered. Now think of this, it because it makes no other sense. I mean, the guy is on the verge of, in the middle of the number one project in the city of Brownsville, according to them. That number one project that's going to bring all this economic development to downtown and to all of the city of Brownsville.
mm-hmm.
This e-commerce and entrepreneur building that
You
they
mean the cause of denial building?
yeah, which is a farce to begin with, because they wanted to use that building for something because we kept on calling them out on what a piece of crap purchase it was.
Right.
Put in bad light Nerith Golonsky because they're the ones that sold it to the city of Brownsville.
Mm-hmm.
It was a piece of crap. So yeah, they were adamant on fixing that crap up, adamant on fixing that crap up. So in the middle of this project that BCIC was in charge of, Roman, in the middle of this project, Josh McKee leaves. Well, wasn't it all this big old ass big project? It was until Josh Mejia, spoke out against the mayor for trying to swindle $200,000 from BCIC.
Administrators come and go. I mean, generally they're not going to be here forever. They want to. They're not going to be like Charlie Kabler, who was at the city for many years, and other individuals. They stay here and they go places. They want to be movers and shakers, be a big dog. But why would he go to become the Chamber of Commerce manager director in McAllen? I mean, granted, the
McAllen
McAllen
has their
happening place is a great place to go.
McAllen has their crap together, Roman. We
Yeah.
don't. I mean, they don't.
So
I mean, they were smart enough to elect a pretty decent mayor so far, you know,
Javi's cool. I like
and
Javi. Javi's great.
and again, so far, great job. And again, McAllen is always like 2, 3 steps ahead of Brownsville anyway. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care
Mm,
everyone's like, well, that's when you just, we can't talk good about McAllen. Yeah, you look at what other cities is working for other cities, and you try to implement it here.
mm,
Unfortunately for us, we have no leadership here in the city of Brownsville because everyone keeps pulling their little pet projects and pulling everyone to the side.
mm.
I mean, and this is what I mean by Noel Bernal not being able to do his job. You got Rose Gowan with that Ciclovia crap. I'm sorry, Roman, and I know you're a big fan of Ciclovia.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah, let me say,
no.
anyone with any sense, Roman, anyone
Mm,
with any common sense would tell you, take that out to the back and shoot it.
mm,
That Ciclovia is dead on arrival. It's a money guzzler. No one participates. The only ones that participate are city employees because they have to. You know, and then you've got commissioners like Roy Los Santos and Rose Gowan that bike ride with the city commission. I mean, that's frustrating when you're trying
mm.
to do a job and you're being pulled for photo ops with these guys in shorts. And I'm sorry, have you seen Rose
Yeah,
Gowan in
no, that's
shorts?
disgusting. I don't
Disgusting.
know. I think it's really early in the morning, and I'm still coming over my cold. That's why I've been able to come on the show, and I apologize for not being able to. But I've been sick since Saturday, and my grandmother passed away over the weekend, so I've been down about that. And so yeah, so I apologize for not being able to go. So don't give me that image of the guys in the shorts, especially since it's the start of groomer month, and we don't want to be thinking of that. I'm just kidding. No. um, no, I wanted to ask you a question about Josh. I mean, how much money do you know? Do you know how much money he's making over in McAllen, and
Well, you know,
more money, less money?
I'm going
You,
to think more money, but I think Josh at this point in his career, I mean, even if he took a pay cut, it would be a lot better than having to deal with the politics that exists here in
mm,
the city of Brownsville. And look, I mean, what a perfect time to go. I mean, we're about to enter. We are in Gay Pride Month in the city of Brownsville, and I guarantee you, it's going to be a gay old time in Brownsville for the next month. And again, I make mention of this not because I have anything against the gay community. I have absolutely nothing against the gay community. Is that I'm just think that you shouldn't be giving these little free passes and can do basically whatever you want in the city of Brownsville
no,
because it's todos rabones o todos coludos. Everyone gets the same. Because if
mm.
you're going to go out there and put a gay pride flag on one of the governmental buildings out there, which is going to happen, Roman, they're
Well,
going to put it
yeah.
up somewhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, weren't you hanging out with what you calling of Roy yesterday at the Pride at some not Pride some prayer event yesterday? Was it? Were you there? I thought you were there.
At the Uvalde and the Regal Park?
Yeah, were you there?
No, no.
I thought that
Look,
was you.
no, it wasn't me. And again, they make these little niche events, days later, weeks later, and they're just trying to cover their bases in regards to let's just slap it in there. There was hardly anyone out there. I saw some pictures that came out on my
Mm,
news feed. Wasn't a lot of people out there. With that said, again, it was catered towards the orange ticket holders, and you know what?
mm,
And I see this because, and I'll tell you, and I'll do a little parenthesis real quick. Up in Monterrey, I was in Monterrey this weekend, Roman, and I stayed at the Richie Richie place,
mm.
the neighborhood, San Pedro. Este,
Wow,
yeah,
that's fancy.
I lived it up. Yeah, I lived it up this weekend.
Mm,
And these friends of mine, I went to church in Independencia, which
mm,
is a rough part of Monterrey. and it's just right across the mountain, Roman. There's this mountain that divides San Pedro and Monterrey, and you go through the tunnel. I don't know if you've ever been there, but the San Pedro is the richest area per capita, and
Mhm.
acá Monterrey, this little mountain, the people that live on the mountain, on the other side of the mountain, are it's like a ghetto, dangerous,
Mhm.
actually.
And you don't hang
Dangerous.
out there. That's the bad
Well,
side of it.
that's where I went to church. I
Mhm.
went to church in the ghetto, and I make mention of this because they told me like, oh, pensaba que habías venido a las conferencias de la Sierra Ventana, which is
Mhm.
a church in Monterrey. I said like, no, and I said I didn't even know what's going on. What happens with a lot of these events when you don't know what's going on, you can't opt to decide to participate or anything. But
Mhm.
anyway, so I see the pictures of the individuals that went to this church meeting, yeah, this conferencias, and let me tell you, it's all the little elite little groups, all these internationally known wannabe pastors, and I'm going like, that's exactly what happens in politics. It's really unfortunate. But you look at the pictures of the event on that Ringo Park event, and it's all just the elite folk out there. It's the same
I know.
same.
I swear I thought it was you. There was some guy that had your hairstyle and had a beard. That it was you were standing right next to him. I seriously, I thought I was like, oh, wow, Erasmo was hanging out there. I was surprised.
You
You have a
know,
twin somewhere in Brownsville. And either that again. I've been drugged up pretty much since Saturday, so I'm not thinking straight. I'm the worst person to be on the show with you this morning. But like I
not
mean,
not
you've
just
been sending me
not
the link, and I feel horrible that I haven't been able to.
not
And
just this morning,
yeah, huh?
not just this morning.
Yeah, it's possible. So everything I say today, don't take it with a grain of salt, okay, guys? Um, but I was a little surprised, that it didn't look like a big event. It didn't have like a lot of people. I didn't know what was happening. I was sick, um, and so it's really sad what's happening in Uvalde, and people that are law enforcement, you don't trust them, I guess, to go in to save your life. And I have a friend of mine on Twitter who actually said maybe this is just a sign that we do need to have people with weapons, just in case something bad happens. Because if you can't trust the police to go in, to for children to
Well,
go kill the active shooter, I mean that's crazy.
let me say, Roman, and, it's kind of it's kind of funny that you worded it that way, but
Mhm.
you know,
Well,
I,
what's funny that word with it? I don't understand.
no, no, it's funny in this sense. Like one of the big arguments out there, that happened right after Uvalde. I mean, right after Uvalde, one of the big arguments is out there is like, yeah, you know, pick up everybody's guns, you
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
and the gun thing, and again, and I've seen a lot of comments out there, but guys, folks out there only want the guns in the hands of police and the military. That's part of their
Hmm.
stance.
Hmm.
Take the guns away from all people.
Hmm.
Let the military and the police is to be the only ones that have guns, and of course the criminals who are going to get the guns anyway. So those are the only individuals that are going to have guns. So what happened with the law enforcement that had the guns? They
Hmm.
had the guns in Uvalde, guys. They could not. They did not
Going.
go in and stop this guy from shooting. Now, a guy who was off duty, but trained, well trained with a weapon, off duty, was cutting his hair, gets a message from his wife, and then rushes to the school and shoots the crap out of the guy,
Hmm.
you know? And no one stopped that guy. No one stopped that guy. Fortunately for the kids, no one stopped that guy. Guy goes in there. I mean, the police were even arresting the parents that wanted to go in there.
Exactly. I mean, you can't trust it. For those of us, I mean, you and I both, we're both constitutional conservatives. I think you're. I'm a conservative, obviously, and you are as well. We want smaller government. We want the right of the individual, and that's the basis of the Second Amendment. I know the Rays, and is saying that we why do you need 850 AK-15s and other rifles? Because you should be able to have whatever rifle you want to have because of the Second Amendment and what's there. And you're a constitutionalist. The reason we have the Second Amendment is to protect the other rights. Thank you, Hillary. I appreciate it. My grandmother lived a very long life. Just so everyone knows, like lived until 95. So we were very blessed to have her as long as we had. We had her like 40 years more than we had my grandfather. And so it's great. But thank you. I appreciate it, Hillary. But, we should be able to have whatever weapon we want to be able to protect our rights, not because we don't trust government, but because our founding fathers didn't trust government. That's why we had the Declaration of Independence. You read the Declaration of Independence, it's very clear what they were talking about, a tyrannical government, like what's happening in Canada, taking away weapons and things like that. It's not cool, but I'm glad that people are seeing this, that law enforcement not always going to be there. I mean, if you live in a poor neighborhood, do you think the police is going to get there in time to be able to kill the person that's trying to, murder or rape your grandparent or something in their house? No, they're not going to be there on time. So that's why you have, protection for, castle doctrine, things like that, to protect yourself. It's your responsibility. But
Yeah, it's a personal responsibility to make sure that your individual is safe. And again, guys, and it was kind of, and I don't want to say the word funny, but it was kind of interesting how you saw the progression in regards to as more and more information came out in regards to the event. Everyone was going like, "Take guns away," and then then the art it shifted to, well, maybe they should have been armed. It just went the other way. And again, guys, I would rather have individuals that are well trained, well versed in regards to gun safety, to be able to defend your kids on campus at schools.
mm,
Now, if that means the border patrol agent did not shoot the attacker, he went in to save his wife and daughter. I don't think his daughter was there, but again, doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter why he went in. He went in, and
He went
I
in.
believe he did shoot the attacker. Are you claiming that it's just fake news that he didn't shoot the attacker? So who shot the attacker? Who shot him, Mister Nobody?
Someone with a gun
Well, yeah, somebody with a gun did it. I
killed
mean, you
the
know,
guy that was killing children.
yes.
And let me tell
And
you,
so he's
I think
apparently, for
some
whatever reason, Mister Nobody is very concerned about this. Oh, he went for selfish reasons to save his wife and daughter. Who gives a flying rat's ass why he went in? He went in because the law enforcement was dilly dallying around while there was an active shooter at a school. And that's why you have even the media is like, dude. I mean, the media is using this as an opportunity to attack law enforcement, and I'm not here to attack law enforcement, and neither is Erasmo. We're both, we believe in law enforcement, we believe in the rule of law, and we trust our police officer. But at sometimes you need to be able to protect yourself. And this individual went in to save his family or wherever wanting to save it. He went in, got rid of what he needed to do, and saved lives. I don't know how many lives he saved, but I know he had to have saved lives. Like, he just had to.
and again, the police were too busy trying to tase people that
Yeah.
were jumping, trying to save their kids,
Right.
and had an individual in handcuffs. And it's trippy because I mean, again, more and more information is coming out, but they had a lady in handcuffs whose daughter was being killed as she was in handcuffs. That's
Right.
upsetting, guys.
That's
That
ridiculous. Yeah.
that is upsetting. It's
Hmm.
really, really upsetting because instead of focusing on the shooter, they were more focused on the parents. And look,
Yeah.
I understand the reasoning of we don't want more victims going in there, but that's why you have to do your job. And I'm
Hmm.
sorry, law enforcement, they are there to protect and to serve. And
Yeah.
it's part of their job description. Now, if they got orders from their boss to not go in, they still should have gone in. They
Yeah.
still should have got in because right now the chief of police
For the
is
BS, for not BS, sorry, not BISD, the Uvalde School District.
yeah, the chief of
She was in
police
there.
out there has shut down and has stopped giving information. And what's trippy about the whole situation is he was elected to be on the city commission, which I think is just ironic. Uh, ironic because now this is the type of leadership they're going to have. Yes, well trained gun user, 100%. And and look, guys, people are out there saying, well, I said, don't, we don't want teachers with guns. That's fine. Then the school district should hire more police officers out there
Hmm.
and have more armed police officers on campus. It's just as
Hmm.
simple as that. Individuals that know that in a moment where they're going to be needed, they're going to have to be in the middle of things. I mean, we do that on planes now. We have marshals on planes undercover with a gun, guys. You know, why can't we have them at our schools? A Republican argument that we need more good guys with guns. there were 19 good guys with guns standing outside, afraid to take a bullet for the kids. Maybe it was an armed, if it was an armed black individual.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. We
It's
had a guy who was crazy, apparently, massacred little animals and now decided to go kill. And he was Mexicano, he was brown like us, and he happened to have guns. I don't know I don't know what your point is, with that guy. It's just that's a ridiculous argument because I
well,
don't know what the argument is.
it doesn't make sense because again, let me rephrase this. The guys outside with guns were not good guys. The guys
Mm.
outside with guns were not good guys. They did not do their job. They did not rush in there to stop this guy. They were more focused on the parents that were tripping than on the active shooter. And in those 45 minutes, and again, guys, a lot of this information is just coming out. A lot of this is information is coming out. We just still don't know.
Yeah,
And
we don't know all the answers. None
no,
of us do.
no
It
one does.
changes every day. It seems like. I mean, some of the 911 calls are being released now, and stories are changing. DPS looks really, really bad because of the situation and what they said one day. The next day, they make the governor look bad. And somebody asked me yesterday, well, is this event going to hurt the governor? When he comes against Beto? No, I don't think so. I think this Beto's career was over when he started interrupting a police conference and started yelling and made the story about himself. Yeah, that's what he does. He wants to make a story about himself as opposed to about the children and this incident and getting all whatever facts need to become out there. Andres.
Good morning. You mentioned that Tron Golowski wanted to run for mayor. Do you think this town is going to be any better? No. Half year now, and we are in stagnant mode. Half year now. Let me tell you, Brownsville will completely go down the crapper with uh, Tetron
These two
Golowski
people, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
as mayor of the city of Brownsville. And again, it's going to be very, very unfortunate, guys. And let me say, guys, it's going to be a pretty packed race coming next year for mayor of the city of Brownsville. But Golonsky would be a complete disaster. Disaster. Because if you think that Trey Mendez was a rata that stole millions of dollars from the city of Brownsville, you're talking about Golonsky and her papa, Abraham, out there stealing billions of dollars from the city of Brownsville, trying to find a way. And they will find a way, guys. I mean, they've made themselves rich. Well, they were already rich. They made themselves richer while serving on the boards and committees. I mean, with her on the commission, it's increased their value, guys. Her as mayor of the city of Brownsville would be a disaster for this damn city. But let me tell you, I plan to be at every single one of their forums when the mayoral forums come up, guys. I plan to be there.
Well, you won't be running for mayor next year because you'll be elected as county commissioner, correct?
Oh yeah,
That's what.
but I will be at the forums, Roman,
Mm,
and I will be out there very, very, very vocal as a county commissioner.
mm.
Very, very, very vocal.
Um, I don't know who else will be running for it. I would hope that neither one of those two individuals would get elected mayor, just because I don't think either one of them have. Well, Galaski's only been a city commissioner in what 3 years, and I don't think she's accomplished anything as city commissioner. District
Nada.
one. So, and purely from a political standpoint, I don't think she's accomplished anything other than being having a not so pretty face on the face of the city commission. That's
Uh,
just me.
there's no mandatory gun safety training for civilians, but anyone that is inside our schools, anyone that's inside our governmental buildings, they should be very, very well versed in regards to guns.
Mm.
Policeman drove past the shooter while a door was propped open and yet it didn't lock. And why did it need to be propped open?
I don't. I mean, there's again, we don't know all the facts, but it seemed like there was an event earlier in the day, an award ceremony. Maybe that's why it was propped open, so people could be able to use it, be able to exit the building and enter the building earlier. But yeah, I think that's what it is.
Only
So,
teachers that will be comfortable using guns should have a gun. Not everyone. uh, Look, if and again, guys, I think it's just a discussion that we need to have. If we don't want teachers with guns, then sure enough, let's get more officers on every campus that are well
mm,
versed and well trained in gun use. And look, I got message from many veterans out there. Many veterans were willing to do what a lot of veterans were doing throughout the country, guys. They were out there protecting their schools, their grandkids' schools, their
mhm.
children's schools. Maybe that's the route we need to take.
And don't we have a lot of veterans who are teachers at BISD? that have experience and understanding what it's like to be using a weapon. I
Tons.
mean, I'm sure that they wouldn't mind doing. Again, we're not wanting. I mean, you say, yeah, as a parent, don't want every teacher to have a gun at school. Obviously, that's not something I'm asking for or promoting. But if it should be an option that if a teacher wants to do it, like an extra certification, to be able to do that, especially in those rural schools. I know we talked about this before, but I know some people come in and out from shows, but I think it's an important aspect for us to look at. I think Senator Cruz has some interesting ideas of what we can do to have safety in our schools.
There was failure in all entities, 100%. And
It
again, as
seems that way, yeah.
more and more information is coming through, again, uh,
Like, except for the guy who decided to go in and apparently just save for selfish reasons or something, I guess, what Mr. Bodwin was implying. And correct me if I'm implying something that you're not actually implying, Mr. Nobody. But it seems to me that's what you were saying. He wasn't a failure. He got the guy. He got the bad guy.
again and again. I'm not saying that it's Bible. What I'm saying is that more and more information is being disseminated on a daily basis, and we're getting more information. Unfortunately for us, the chief of police has stopped speaking.
Yeah.
And that's going to
So,
be interesting. But
you know,
will there failure at all? And 100%, no doubt. Hey man, good morning, guys. Good to see you too. God
hey
bless
David, how you doing? I'm glad that Dave is commenting. Earlier today I was watching MSNBC. I don't know why I was watching it, but I was watching Morning Joe, and they were interviewing this lady who's a Hispanic reporter for MSNBC, and she was referencing something that I mean, my friend and your friend David is Janie Lopez, and she is running for state representative of House District 37, and I've spoken with her because she used to be a counselor for immigrants that were coming in, or children that were molested as they were coming across the border. And so this is what Morning Joe and MSNBC was so concerned about, is why Hispanics like Roman and Erasmo, becoming conservative, or are conservative, and they're voting for Republican. Why are we doing? And David, you're a Republican precinct chair incoming. Why are we doing it? They're like, well, because there are QAnon conspiracies out there that say that that children are being raped and things like that. I was like, it's not a QAnon conspiracy. It's just they try to besmirch us and why we believe in a strong border security, and why we believe the way we believe when it comes to illegal immigration. They say no, we're a fringe element. But the reason I bring up Janie is that Janie was a counselor, or is a counselor, and she has a degree. She was counseling some of these children, and has said on the record, not about the children specifically, individuals, but saying, the type of molestation that they occurred, the sexual abuse that occurred, that she herself has witnessed. So, I mean, to besmirch us, and I say this because we are conservatives in South Texas. There is a special election happening right now. Go out and vote. Exercise your right to vote. I know Erasmo. I just so you know, I did reach out to Myra, and I did message her to relay the message for her. Hopefully, she can come on the show at some point um, with you to get her message. But go out there and vote. But get informed about the candidates that are running in the special election, and vote for who you feel you want to vote for. But I'm just amazed that our national media is just besmirching South Texas and Hispanics, and in terms of how they vote, or who they want to vote for, or what we believe. I know, and I was texting, so that's why I'm talking a little longer.
No, I mean, I ambidextrous. I
I know.
can do
I
double.
mean,
But
that's sorry.
I know exactly what it means. But what I'm trying to say is that yeah, I appreciate. I mean, again, I reached out to Dan Sanchez as well last night, and not heard back from him, except to say that I guess he didn't know who I was. That's okay.
Really? He doesn't know who you are?
Yeah.
Oh, he's like La Leona who didn't know who I was.
So
Wow.
it's okay. But again, it's still an open invitation, and I a lot of folk don't even know that early voting is going on right now. A
Yeah.
lot of folk don't know. And again, it's so Roman, and again, I'm supporting Mayra uh, as much as humanly possible, but help me help you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Help me help you. And look, whoever wins this race is going to need people to go get out there and vote. And when you've got your base, against Dan's base, it's going to
And
be
it's a very big district. I mean, there's this old 34 goes all the way to halfway through Gonzales County up to the Guadalupe River.
it's and it,
And it's a really really far district. So I mean, if the only way Dan is able to potentially win is if Hidalgo County, which the part of Hidalgo County is in the old 34, and Cameron come out to vote like crazy as a Democrat, because up in the north they're galvanized, excuse me, to want to vote for Republican, and so if they're not able to do anything, Dan's going to lose. I mean, he was on yesterday. There was a forum for through the RGV, and my name actually came up in a congressional debate. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, Erasmo. I don't know if your name has ever come up in a congressional debate, but my name specifically came out in a congressional debate because Dr. Juana Cantu Cabrera, or is it Cabrera Cantu? I don't know, mentioned my name and said that I'm not going to name names, but Roman Perez said that I told me not to file for Congress or something for the special election. I'm like, that never happened. Like, I never talked to you about filing or not filing. Like, sorry. But my name came up. But there's not a lot of people voting. People should be able to go vote. People are not paying attention about the special election because we had so many elections. But go out to vote. Your vote is going to be more influential in this special election than you can imagine. So go out and vote.
are you running for commissioner now? Roman is not.
No, I'm not running for anything. Thank you for asking, though.
The stressful environment that is a public school campus and people with weapons is a toxic mix. Be careful what you wish for. Again, and look, no, I just want to have the conversation. It's all I want to have.
Mm,
If we need, I mean, we already have security out there, and in some cases, we do have certain police presence from the district.
mm,
It's already there. Do we need to increase it to guarantee the safety out there? And I had a parent that made mention to me yesterday. Said, "That's well, we don't feel comfortable in an armed police officer, BISD police officer, directing traffic when he could be inside the school."
mm,
I mean, let the security and other folks, go
mm,
out there and direct traffic, or the crosswalk folks direct traffic if need be. We want the armed police officers closer to our kids,
mm.
not the person, the
Yeah,
entity.
yeah, I understand. No, I just want to make sure.
Because we open our eyes and we have common sense. That's why we're voting how we vote. And both of you have a lot more common sense than a lot of people. That's why Democrats don't like you. They lack common sense. Trust me, a lot of Republicans don't like me either.
And the same here.
So,
Yeah,
and again, let me say,
I
guys,
think David knows that.
I'm not a party toter. Again, I'm going to support any candidate that has the same beliefs or is an actual good candidate for the position that they're running for.
Mm,
I don't care if they're Democrat. I don't care if they're Republican. Not in incivility and disrespect, non-inclusive environment, unethical behavior, cutthroat competition, bullying. These are the characteristics of a toxic environment. Sounds like many. Yeah, 100%. And it's just very, very unfortunate. And I think that a lot, and something that Nelda is mentioning, a lot of these things is they started to come into our schools as soon as we started to shy away from a lot of our conservative values that we held and upheld when we were growing up. And
mm,
look, guys, it's again, guns were around back in the 70s and 80s, guys. They were around, but probably easier to get than they are to get now. Plus, there was a lot less control back then, folks.
mm,
Again, the only thing that has changed is the dynamics in regards to people being a little bit less conservative in beliefs and
mm,
in upbringings, guys. Because before, whenever might get in trouble for this, but before, guys, anytime you were feeling depressed or moping around, a good chicotazo would throw your butt outside and get you to do something.
mm.
And again, didn't have a lot of those problems back then. There was a lot more discipline for kids back then. There's no discipline for kids now.
I mean, I was watching on Twitter this morning, a 2 year old, and I don't, I know you say I would bring it up to, but a 2 year old is now, I guess, born one sex and decided I'm another sex, and the parents like, a 2 year old has spoken, and that's why we're raising him in this new idea, and this opposite gender to what their biological sex. A 2 year old. We have parents who are listening to their 2 year olds and determining the future of their 2 year old because he or she woke up in one day and said, "I'm the other way," and I think that's a problem. We have parents who are like listening to 2 year olds that way. You're the boss. You're the parent. Raise them right. Wait till they're a little older for them to determine what their idea or how they identify. A freaking 2 year old. I have, our children want to be, oh, I want to be Batman. I want to be Superman, or I want to be Wonder Woman today, or whatever. It's like, come on, they're kids. Let them be kids. Sorry, I'm ranting about that.
You tend to wonder about that too much.
No, I do because you're using the point of our society is completely different.
Okay,
We're
but
not raising our kids right. I mean, you have the kids. There was a time on South Park. You like South Park? We had ADHD problem. We were giving Ritalin to kids, and it's like, and then they had a joke about I have this
has,
newfangled idea of like knocking up at the head.
but
Get
Ritalin
to
has
work. Start
nothing to
studying.
do. Ritalin has nothing to do with sex. And again,
No, but it's okay. I'm not talking about just sex. I'm talking about raising your children right.
but it
You're not
always,
raising your children right.
but it seems that it always goes towards sex, Roman. It always
Because
goes
it's an
towards,
ideology, Erasmo.
no,
It's a freaking. It is an ideology.
it
It
always
is an
goes,
ideology. I'm
it's,
sorry that you don't agree, but it is an ideology to believe
it
that we're
always,
not
it
raising our
always,
children right.
for some reason, it always goes to sex. And
You know what? Then don't have me on your freaking show. This is a problem in our society, Erasmo,
because it always
because it
goes.
is a problem.
It always goes to sex. It seems like it's a constant and constant and constant,
Because it's
and it's
on.
not
It's
all.
in your face now,
It's
Erasmo.
not all about sex, Roman. And
It's it.
and the
It's a
problem is
gender. It's an idea.
that's the problem. That's why we turn off a lot of the folks out there because automatically we want to like hitch our little star to one single topic, and everything revolves
I'm
around the same
look. I'm
content.
literally talking
Look,
about
look,
ADHD. We're getting about Ritalin.
I
We're talking
agree.
about we're talking
I
about
agree.
two
I
people
agree with.
families and all
I
this stuff.
agree that
I'm giving you all the other example. I'm not just like, going on
no,
one stupid
it's
thing.
always about because it always goes that route, Roman, and it always tends to
You
go
know
that.
what?
And
I'll see you
it's
later, dude.
infuriating.
I'm done.
It's
I got it. My child is screaming. He already woke up. I'll
that's
see you later,
fine.
man.
It's
I gotta go. I
infuriating.
mean, I seriously
Good.
gotta go. All right, take care. God
Adios.
bless.
Bye. It's infuriating because it always seems to go like, this is the one topic that we're really going to. I'm not going to run a campaign or run a race on a single topic. I completely agree in biology. A man is born a man, a woman is born a woman. If anyone wants to choose to change whatever they want to change, as long as they're of legal age, they can do whatever the heck they want. Ah, bleh. Early voting is just this week. Yes, and that is unfortunate. The first line of defense is to secure exterior schools like correctional facilities. How many of them get breached? Yeah, no. I'm a veteran and teacher. Teachers having guns is not feasible. Roman, you don't even trust teachers to keep saying indoctrinating students. Do you want to trust teachers with guns? That's actually a decent point. Let me tell you, as the I want to trust someone with guns inside our schools. That's for a fact. Security is only as good as the last person through the door. And again, let's see, Joe Valdez. When the Constitution was written, I seriously doubt that they envisioned the type of weapons we have today. All they had back then was cannons and muskets. The right to bear arms was because of necessity. Um, Maybe, but again, I think again, Joe, this is my take. I think that when we were talking about militias and arming folks out there, when we're talking about these entities, I think that they were thinking of them fighting the British. And one of the things that, again, I'm not in the mind of a lot of the people out there. I'm not in the mind of a lot of the people out there. I don't know what their thought process was, but history tells me something is that they wanted to make sure that their militia was strong enough. And by the militia, it was the people that were fighting the British. Because at the end of the day, guys, we didn't have an American army back then. I mean, we did, but it wasn't the American army that we would probably had hoped to go out there and fight against the British. Again, the ones that were doing most of the fighting were a lot of the people that armed themselves, the militia. And in the minds of a lot of the people that were writing the Constitution, and again, this is my take, might have been like, hey, if they're going to have cannons, we might as well have cannons. If they're going to have AR-15s, and then we're going to have to probably have AR-15s. Is it going to be a tit for tat? Do I believe that everyone should out there should have an AR-15? I don't even know what an AR-15 is, but no, I sure as hell don't. I don't see the need for one. I don't feel the need to have an AR-15, but I will fight for someone's right to own one. Exactly, Joel. This need to have reasonable common values to raise children in a society. Yes, yes. Maybe I can defend my students with banned books and use them to stop bullets. Uh, that would not be good. And here we go back to everything wrong with America is illegal immigration and homosexuals. Uh, no, we don't agree on that. And look, let me tell you, is that I am against illegal immigration, 100%. El Gallo Valdez. I've been very, very adamant about illegal immigration. In regards to homosexuality, anyone could be whatever sex they want to be. You just need to be free. Just don't want it indoctrinated in anyone or everyone out there. It's the only thing I have against it. Don't shove it down my face. Don't shove it down my throat. It's the only thing I care about. But in regards to illegal immigration, you've got to admit it's an issue, bro. It's a horrible issue, and we need to stop it. We need to control our borders. Do I think it is everything to do with what's wrong with the United States? Absolutely not. If assault weapons and high capacity magazines were banned, people would people willing participate in buybacks? Uh, I think we've had buybacks before in different cities, in different places. What part of the Second Amendment is violated with basic licensing rules? And I look, and I agree that there should be some type of control in regards to you know masking out who has and who does not have. I think a lot of the individuals who are out there buying guns, a lot of them shouldn't be out there buying guns. I agree with a lot of the folks. I don't think 18-year olds should be owning AR-15s or high powered weapons. I don't think they should be be able to buy weapons at all. But we have to have the conversation, guys. Look, I love Roman. I just, for some reason, everything goes back to the same topic. And let me tell you guys, I'm not going to look. I even started out this show in regards to saying that I don't agree with the gay, the pride flag throughout our buildings. I don't. I don't agree with a big old hoopla for the rest of the month, guys. I don't. Todos rabones o todos coludos. This is still America. You can pursue happiness any which way that you want. How can you say that is the problem? We were talking about people killing children. I did not say that. And this comment just came in. When did I say that? Or unless you're talking about Joe Valdez, and I don't think Joe Valdez was saying that either. It's been 48 minutes. It's a lot longer than I thought I'd probably be on today. It's going to be an interesting day. Uh, look, guys, enough people have been hurt in our community, in our society. Enough people have been hurt by individuals out there who want to look down on folks because of their skin color, because of their race, because of their gender, or because of their sexual preference. I will do need none of these. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care from what country you come from. I don't care if you're male, female, or you identify yourself as a he, she. I don't care. I don't care who you sleep with. That is your preference. And one of the things that the Constitution guarantees us is the pursuit of happiness, whichever which way you find it. So, to all of the communities out there, that have been disrespected, that have been bashed. Not a part of that, guys. And I will never be a part of that, ever. Not you, El Gallo. Then me? I never mentioned anything. You know what? Nah, I'm not going to explain it. I'm not going to never even mention anything. Good show. Nah. You just like that I was fighting with Roman. AR-15 is a military weapon with extreme firepower to cause maximum damage and carnage. So don't they let 17 and younger buy alcohol, cigarettes, or go to some R movies, but that's okay to buy it. No, like, I agree with you 100%. I don't think that 18-year-olds are capable of handling a lot of the different situations. And again, maybe it's just the society that we live in now. That's a lot different from the society that we were living in 10, 15, 20 years ago, guys. Again, I've shared, when I was 14 years old, I was going on the bus. I was getting on the bus and going to Monterrey by myself. This is back when I was 14 years old. Came back on the bus by myself in Mexico, guys. I wouldn't trust my 14-year-old nieces or nephews traveling anywhere by themselves. But that's exactly what I said. I mentioned the militia. The militia was not military, bro. It were the people that formed the militia. Look, and let me say, Vincent, my issue with Roma is again, it always goes back to sex. You know, look, part of the problem with this sex gender choice stuff, it always goes back to sex. And it's infuriating to me because I know what is trying to be implied. And I think it's been mentioned on these shows before, and I've come out and I've denounced it. Let me tell you guys, just because someone thinks that they are a she and considers them a she does not make them crazy. They're making a choice. Do I think a 2 year old should make a choice like that? Absolutely not. In regards to parents permitting the kids to make a choice like that, it's just part of this generation, part of this culture that we live in, because we've lost a lot of conservative values. I was referring to Roman's comments, trying to blame everything wrong in America. Yeah, and that's my issue. My issue is not that we have to define homosexuality as the root. And you know what? It happens in our churches too. You know, it's trippy because uh, in our church circles, guys, I have these issues at our church. Uh, in our church circles, they are trying to throw someone down the gutter because they, opt to sleep with someone of the same sex. I'm going like, hold your horses, guys. Uh, in Scripture, sin is sin, and it is equally as horrific for someone to lie, cheat, and steal as it is for someone to have sex with someone of the same gender, man. But unfortunately for us, a lot of our churches they try to classify sin, and that happens. And it's just so amazing how much of spiritual church life is exactly the same as politics, because that's just what society holds for us. It's exactly the same. We used to be more independent back in the old days. Today, this generation, even across the street, parents need to discipline their children. We need more discipline, guys. That's what we need. Guys, I'm out. It's been an interesting show. Guys, have a great, great day. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, still believe in all that crap. I am done. I would hate the sin, not the sinner. Yeah, man. I agree. And, it's one of the issues with our churches, man. Our churches are too quick to kick out. I want to embrace. I want to bring together because I'm the greatest pastor in all of Texas and north of Mexico. I agree. That's right, sins of omission. Yeah, 100%. Love you. Uh, Going to the beach, my pursuit of happiness for today. I can watch you. I cannot spell in Spanish. Guys, have a great day. See you tonight at 9 p.m. I'll probably be by myself. Guys, that's okay. Be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.